We've heard plenty in recent months about the challenges for agencies that work to help people with addiction and mental illness. Cuts to programs and funding shortages are a familiar story, but despite the financial challenges, many organizations are finding ways to connect and provide help to more people in need of help using social media. The Umbrella Society for Addictions and Mental Health is one of those. Gordon Harper is the executive director, and Charlene Law is an outreach worker for the Umbrella Society, and they're both with me in studio. Good morning to you both.
Good morning, Gregor.
And what are some of the ways that Twitter and Facebook are helping you to help more people than you might otherwise reach? Gordon, can I ask you first?
Sure. Well, these are relatively new innovations, I guess, and I have to admit I was slow to adopt them, but it's the way people communicate. It's the way some of our clients communicate, and so I have a handful of clients that I support entirely on Facebook, and text messaging as well, which not truly social media, I guess, but again another relatively new way of communicating. I use that even more. I think the idea of the kind of standard 1-hour counseling session. While it still has merit in some settings, when we're just providing almost daily support for people, just trying to let them know that there's someone out there that cares, a quick Facebook message or even a quick text message will get that message home.
That's interesting because it's tempting to think that anything other than face-to-face, meaningful, in-depth human contact is not sufficient. But you're obviously finding otherwise when it comes to providing support for people.
We are, and we're also finding a lot of new referrals. A lot of people can't afford phones, but there's free computer stations all throughout Victoria here, and they're emailing us, they're sending us messages on Facebook asking for help.
So it's helping clients find out get in contact with you and find out about the work you do, I take
Definitely.
it as well. And how does it help with the challenges just finding a temporary home for a pet so the owner can go into treatment, or just these sorts of things that pop up in life?
We had that happen just a little while ago. Actually, one of our long-term clients was forced to give up her pet, and we did some appeals on Facebook, and very quickly found a new home for this cat. So it was kind of cool.
What about those hour-long counseling sessions? The things you refer to. I presume they're still in there in the mix with the social media.
Can this is in addition to.
Yeah.
This is not in lieu of. It's in addition to.
And do they help you decide when those old traditional sessions are needed? They perhaps give you an idea of when they might not be needed and when they might be more acutely in need?
I think we like to meet people, close to the beginning of their relationship with us, face to face, and there's opportunity for a much broader exchange of information. I don't type that fast, so
but it does
Facebook
also
has
appeal to
limitations.
the people who don't keep the same regular business hours as us, so they can send a message and just talk to you openly by sending you a message on Facebook or sending an email, and it doesn't matter about the time because they're not waking up. And then there's a lot of people, it can take a few times till we meet them because of the hours and that happen in the city when you're actively using.
We occasionally hear people say it's easy to misconstrue emotional tone or something like that in an email. Do you ever find that being a problem at all? And how do you overcome it?
I don't know if it's a problem. Our role, as the same as in any kind of one-on-one session, is to be the professional. So if we do misconstrue it, we are the ones that are supposed to be the professionals. So we just have to plow through it and not get hurt feelings, or the other way around. I'm very cautious. I've had a few times where people have misinterpreted. So I'm very cautious about my emails that I send out and keeping things general and not you.
So you're keeping it in mind as you start. And that addresses most possible problems.
Yeah.
Do you come across people at their low points or at pivotal points in their lives, and you become aware of it, or how does this social media interaction affect those turning points in people's lives or recoveries?
Well, it's just another way of connecting, and in the case of my own recovery, I really needed other people to help me find my way out of that mess that I found myself in. So this is another way of doing that. And it's a way that is becoming much more popular, much more common. I think older adults, I would count myself in that category. We're pretty skeptical, maybe even scornful of social media when it first started to happen. And I'm happy to say that I've been able to adopt it now, and I probably spend too much time every day on Facebook, just keeping in touch with my little online community.
You call it a little community, but in fact, you're a little society that helps a lot of people. I mean, you're helping hundreds of people. Do you think that is due to social media, the number of people who are aware of you and are taking advantage of your support?
I think it's starting to really have an effect. We've changed our stats to include social media as one of our referral sources.
Does it come with, is there the flip side of that you can only look after so many people, even with the social media advantages? I mean, does it threaten to swamp you at any point?
Always.
Every day.
But you're willing to live with that possibility, it sounds like. What about other groups? Are you hearing of a similar issue with social media being used increasingly with support groups?
I've helped a couple of different people actually set up the Facebook accounts and help connect them. And even at an example I used was the other day at Christmas time, a nonprofit recovery house was looking for donations for Christmas lights, and we put it on our Facebook page, and they decorated both their lights inside and out, got trees donated from other nonprofits. Like, it was all because of social media. It was awesome.
What about how you use or you see the use of social media changing in the future? I mean, do you think it's where it's going to be, or do you foresee a lot of changes coming in the future as a result?
Wow, I think we're only at the beginning of the evolution of social media, so no idea really where it will go. I think there's always going to be a place for the telephone call and the face-to-face meeting and meeting people in a coffee shop. That's how we started out, doing that kind of thing. Hard to say, I think there's enormous innovation and enormous pressure on the originators of Facebook to keep one step ahead of Google Plus and so on and so forth. So
you'll wait and see what the techies have in store for us. In the meantime, I wonder if it's changing the way people communicate, or I'm thinking about the way people often keep something like an addiction secret, and we're often told that's not healthy. Do you see the use of social media changing that?
Yeah, definitely.
How so?
I see posts. One example was we posted a little blurb about a month ago on bullying, and underneath of it, there was at least 10 different clients who shared their own personal experience of being bullied and talked about it, and it became this little forum on bullying, which has then, of course, been one of the traumas that's led to their addiction and where they are in their life. So people are actually opening up and talking about it. I think it's helping to erase some of the shame.
I think there was some concern maybe 2 or 3 years ago around the idea of social media not having enough potential for confidentiality, and but I think people today are pretty aware of what they're sharing and where they're sharing it, and we don't see it as a real problem. If people have stuff that they need to impart to us that isn't suitable for social media, then they'll make arrangements, and we'll see them in another way.
Well, it's an interesting trend. I'm glad you could both join me to talk about this morning. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Very pleasure. Thank you.
Gordon Harper is the Executive Director and Charlene Law is an outreach worker for the Umbrella Society.